Hey, 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 how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the Church of RNK. My name is Rosemary, Nonny. Such a pleasure, as always, to be here with y'all. Okay, so what we're going to do first. We're talking about handling yourself and deliberately designing a life you actually love. Okay, so that's what today is about. Today is my daughter's 10th birthday. 10th birthday, man. It's like, where's the time gone? Where the heck has the time gone? 10 years since I became an actual mother. It just feels really weird to think about it, but it's really, really cool to actually have my daughter and watch her grow and all of that stuff. Hello, Anna. How you doing? Lovely to have you here. Yes, as I said, this is the Church of RNK. Amen. Yes is agreeable. Also, tell me where you're streaming in from. That would be so great. And I have two things that I'm going to start with before we actually make a start, one of which is, hey, if you like the stuff that I do here, share it. Yes, I'm being commanding. I've decided to ask very boldly for what I desire. After all, I tell you guys to do exactly that. So it's like, yeah, you know what, guys? Share. Hit the share button. Let other people be exposed to this awesomeness. Yeah, I know. I'm talking about myself. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Number two is... you're from Egypt. Hello, Anna. How you doing? Lovely to have you on here. Lovely to have you on here all the way from Egypt. Excellent stuff, excellent stuff. I'm sorry that I'm not looking at you guys right now. What I am trying to do is share this myself, because you know what? As I'm asking you to do it, I'm also doing the same. So I'm sharing this too, sharing it. And then, yes, we shall have a talk about handling ourselves. Hey, nearly 13 years for you. Wow, is that a daughter? Is that a daughter or is that a son? Very, very cool. Commanding. That's what I like about you. Oh yeah, commanding. But have you shared it though? So is my command working or not? That is me, that's for sure. Oh well, that is me. Decided that I was going to be today. It's like, that's the second thing I'm going to say. Oh, that's one thing that I'm going to say, definitely. It's just ask for what I want, man. Because, honey, it's how else are you going to get what you want if you don't just tell people straight up? This is what I would like you to do. Your son, very, very cool, 13. What is that like? What is that like? Because as my daughter gets older and older and older, she's kind of going through all kinds of stuff, and it's an interesting transition even for me as a mother, basically. But I'm learning, growing up myself, you know, because your children, I think, possibly grow you up even more than anything else on this planet. I know that I'm a lot more patient than I used to be. And I don't even think I understood love until I had my children. It was just like, oh my gosh, now this is what it's supposed to feel like. Okay, so definitely. So today there's been a lot of, you know, internal looking at over the last 10 years, because she was the one that made me into a mother. And it's just like, wow, I still remember her as that baby coming through, all of that. I remember the exact time she was born. And it's just amazing to see her grow, to see her become more of a person, to see myself become more of a person just as I look back over the years, okay? So it's just incredible. And I know as parents, if any of you are parents, and well, Mel obviously is, you know what I mean. And yes, there's the ups and downs of being a parent for sure. As you try to navigate your own craziness against your child's craziness, it's definitely all fun and games, that's for sure. Fun and games, as well as you gotta keep looking deep inside of yourself to make sure that you're doing the best you can for your kids, okay? And I know that I was brought up very differently from the way that I would like to bring my children up, but I also know that parents always do the very best that they can. But anyway, that's not really what I'm supposed to be talking about today. It's just because today is my daughter's birthday, and I've been kind of thinking about stuff and thinking about how 10 years even before that, I came to the UK. It was about 10 years or so, not exact day or anything like that, or even the exact month. But it was that I came to the UK again. Okay, I was born in the UK, but then I went to live in Nigeria for a very long time. But then I came back, and when I was about 17, I still keep thinking any moment I'm going to get pinched and find myself back in Nigeria. And how cool would that be to find yourself back 20 years in the past with the knowledge you have right now? Imagine it was just one long dream. How cool would that be? And then you can kind of start again as a teenager or as in your early 20s. And with the knowledge that you now have as a 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old, you can then start to live life again. How cool would that be with the same energy? How cool. But, but we don't get to do that. What we get to do is wake up today and figure out, okay, yeah, maybe for some of you, and I know for definite with me, I wish, absolutely, honey, I wish. I know definitely with me that there are some things that I haven't done, not the way that I would have liked to have done them, I haven't fulfilled every single dream that I had when I was about 17. In fact, for a lot of the interim between, I'd say about what, 25-ish, when you suddenly realize that you're coming towards 30 and you haven't quite done all the things that you dreamt about, and you start to feel a little bit more disillusioned. You might have hit some certain goals, done certain things. I still remember, I think it was either the 25th birthday or 26th birthday, feeling a little bit like, oh my gosh, I don't even want anybody to know that I'm this closer to 30 now, because as much as I've had all these dreams and I've talked a good game, I don't feel any closer to any of this stuff. And how is it that I'm almost 30, for goodness sake? I wasn't even supposed to get to 21. And now what? I'm almost 30? How is this happening? I still remember thinking that. I'm feeling slightly depressed for that whole birthday, thinking, I just can't believe this is happening to me. And life has changed considerably since then. I have definitely done a lot more than I'd done even at 25, obviously, anyway, because this experience comes with all kinds of stuff. But it's like, what I'm talking about today, the whole handling yourself thing is this, that we as human beings, we tend to look for the easy route. We tell ourselves that we should just find the path of least resistance and keep moving forward. We ignore the signs inside of us that tell us that we don't feel good, that something is missing, something is not quite right with this picture, but it is the path of least resistance. And the crazy thing is that the path of least resistance might actually even be a pretty bad situation. Okay? It might be a pretty bad situation, but it is a situation that you know and understand. And so because my alarm went off. Basically, my alarm went off and I'm thinking, why have I suddenly gone still? Oh, alarm. So anyway, yes, it may be a pretty bad situation, and still, for whatever reason, it's a comfortable bad situation. And so the devil you know always seems better than the devil you don't know. And so you do go with the path of least resistance because you don't want to handle yourself. It's like I can talk about all the big dreams and ideas that I had. I've written some notes in my journal I want to make sure I cover here. I can talk about all of that at 25, 26, but the truth of the matter is I was a pharmacist earning good enough money at that point. I was in a lot of debt at that point, but I was still just about swimming and keeping my head above water, basically, trying to manage everything and all of this stuff. And it wasn't the greatest of situations, because I still remember lying in bed, waking up really early, lying in bed thinking I'm worrying about money, even though I was this pharmacist at this point, and I'd kind of almost like lived my whole life to get to this point, thinking that when I got to this point of being a pharmacist, then everything would somehow sort itself out and I could do all my dreams and things on the side, somewhere. You know how you have these grand ideas, and I consider myself to be a very practical person. And so, of course, I can't not do the work of being a pharmacist. I have to be the pharmacist, but then at the same time do this other stuff everywhere. But the truth is I wasn't really handling myself. I wasn't handling I wasn't looking deep enough inside of me to recognize that actually Spirit was always telling me, this is not your path. This is not your path. But I did not want to see that because I had sweat blood and tears to get to being a pharmacist. So it may have been a comfortable bad, or it wasn't bad. It just wasn't great. It wasn't what I was here to do. It wasn't my way of making a dent on the universe, on the planet. And it's like, for some of y'all right now, you don't want to look. You come onto things like this and it's all great and encouraging. You feel inspired and great. That's why I do this, okay? I want to motivate. I want to encourage. Oh, hello, Mel. I want to encourage. I want to motivate, but I also want to cause you to think. I want you to think for your own freedom. Because if you don't handle the truth inside of you, and nobody can tell you the truth, okay? You know know inside of you when things are not actually right? Will you, instead of going down the path of least resistance, my husband is now sending me a message as well. I'm just going to move that away. Instead of going down the route of least resistance, actually choose to put yourself in real fire, because that's the incredible thing as well. I know it's not, nobody wants to deliberately cause themselves pain, right? But at the same time, you're already in pain. You're kind of telling yourself you're not. You're telling yourself you're okay, but you don't want to look and see for real that actually you are in pain. You already feel uncomfortable. You already feel like this isn't supposed to be my life. I know that I'm supposed to be somewhere else, away from here. I know that. But you don't want to look. You don't want to handle yourself. And so therefore, you almost like every day choose not to be free. There is a part of you that senses that the path to real freedom is a bit scary. It's unknown. You're not sure what will happen if you decided to go the real path towards the things that you are actually called to do. And so you dither, you procrastinate, you delay, you stay in sometimes very comfortable but bad situations. Some of you, it's comfortable but average situations. You wake up, you feel that discontent inside of you. You immediately try to ignore it by rushing into your day, by trying to, fill it with all kinds of activities. The children are pulling you, calling you. This is happening. The boss wants you over there. The client wants you over there. This thing is happening here, whatever. And next thing you know, it's bedtime. No time to think. No time to think, because really, and it's not that you're too busy, it's that you do not want to think. Because if you thought, you might find that you don't like what you see. And that scares you, because you have sweat, blood, and tears to get to where you are right now. And if it isn't where you're supposed to be, how will you handle it, is what you're thinking to yourself. And yet, I am here to encourage you that you can handle yourself, honey. You can handle yourself. You can claim a life of freedom. You can go down the route of freedom. In fact, I even had an affirmation for us, if I remember it now, because I talked about longer than I thought I would. At least at the start, I was going to try and make sure I kept the song in my head so that I could sing it to you. So now we might have to make it up again. Who knows? Let's see. I handle myself. I handle myself. I handle myself. Yeah, definitely lost it. I handle myself. I handle myself. I handle myself. 'Cause I am free. Oh yeah. 'Cause I am free. That is completely different from what I practice, just so you know. I handle myself. 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 For I am free. Yes, I'm free. For I am free. So that is kind of our affirmation for today, that we handle ourselves. We choose to handle ourselves. We choose to walk in freedom, to discover freedom for ourselves. Because as much as freedom, and at the moment freedom is my thing, and you know what, it'll probably be my thing forever. Because for me as well, it's been a season of uncovering the reality for me. Because it's like I went from being a pharmacist myself to finally hitting rock bottom with I want to look after my children, going bankrupt, and because I couldn't keep working 60, 80 hours if I want to be home with my kids. So it's like, okay, what are you going to do? Bankruptcy seemed to be the only option at that point. Depression followed that, because that was failure to me. To me, that was utter failure. bankruptcy was never supposed to be in my history. And so for me, that I remember waking up feeling completely dead inside. But in some ways, as I was saying to the Deliberate Millionaire Fast Track Client Club, I was saying to them today, and in fact, even to a one-on-one client this morning, everything happens for you. Nothing happens to you, okay? And so, yeah, at the time, it felt like everything was happening to me. But now I look back and I realize, no, it happened for me because it's all been part of the journey to uncover me. So yeah, if you don't want to listen to spirit and you are called to something amazing, honey, things will happen, okay? Not to destroy you, but to wake you up. To wake you up to the fact that you are not even happy. You are not living the life that you even desire with every part of you. You know you don't want to get to the end of your life and not have made a dent on this planet. Not just have walked through and it's like you weren't even here. And so the universe, the spirit, whatever you wish to call it, God, will keep calling you out. Will keep using the situations that you create, honey, because for me, the debt and all of that stuff was created by refusing to look at what I was doing, okay? I didn't want to handle myself. I wanted to avoid my truths. I didn't want to look and see that I was just acting from a heck of a lot of fear. Didn't want to have to, searching for love in the wrong places in terms of refusing to really go full out after the thing that I was called to do because I was afraid that it would go against everybody, everything in my life. And so I keep on a path that seems to be the sensible way to do things, but isn't right for me, okay? And so yes, Spirit will use every single situation to call you out, to wake you up, to say, come on, is this really what you want your life to be about? And then you have to find the courage to handle yourself, to choose freedom every freaking day. And as I was saying, for me, it's been an ongoing uncovering. I started, pharmacist, did 4 years of depression, not really feeling anything inside of me, feeling dead, just giving birth to my children, which was the utter joy of my life and my husband. And then moving on to deciding I was going to do property because property seemed to be sensible. So I still wasn't handling myself though. Property seemed to be sensible. It seemed to be another way I could make money and yet stay with my children, but it wasn't the call of my heart. But it's something I can do. I can understand it. I can figure out how to make money with it. I paid out a heck of a lot of money for it and I have no regrets whatsoever because it gave me the confidence that I can actually go on then to build more and more businesses. But at the time, still looking back, I know, yes, everything happens for me. So it's not no victimhood or anything like that here. But at the same time, I knew it was just I know now that it was just a sideways step. I still wasn't handling myself. I still didn't want to handle the truth inside of me that said, this isn't what you're called to do. You are actually called to do what I'm doing right now. I've always wanted to do this kind of a thing, to even use my guitar and all of that stuff. And this, oh my gosh, to be able to do this in front of you guys on a live stream like this, if you had met me like 3 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to. Why? Because I was still afraid of fully showing up as who I am. What are you afraid of? Where are you not actually showing up? And the truth is, again, you met me 2-3 years ago, I looked fine. I looked as though I had it down. Okay, I was still encouraging. I was still, because by that time, about 3 years ago, I still already started helping people with their businesses and all of that stuff. But I was trying to be, I think 3 years ago or so, or 4 years ago, I was still trying to be the regular business coach. Let's just talk about conversion rates and all of that stuff, basically. And honey, I could talk about all of that stuff with you. I can help you with conversion rates and all of that crazy stuff. And that's absolutely fine. But it's also the recognition that for me, that isn't enough. For some people, that's fine. And that's fine for them. For me, however, and that's the thing, guys, we cannot define anybody else's journey. I can't define your journey. I can support you in your journey. I can walk with you in the darkness, and there will be darkness at times, okay? I can walk with you in the darkness and not try to make it too easy for you because, as I said to begin with, sometimes our need to make everything easy means that we escape the truth of what our life is supposed to be about. And honey, you will get to the end and you will regret that you tried to make things easy. Because the truth is, again, for most people, it's not even easy to stay stuck in a situation that you're not supposed to be in. It's not easy. So why do we choose it? I don't know. We just think it's safer. And yeah, we're scared of what people will think of us. We're scared that people will think we're rubbish or who knows what. And so we keep putting ourselves in a situation that doesn't demand that we handle ourselves, okay? The real us inside. It never really gets an opportunity to shine because we're scared. Or some people just don't even want to look. And it's like, I'm trying to wake you up, honeys. Wake you up to the potential. Why? Because if you are going to live that free life, and the truth is you long to live that significant life, you are going to have to reinvent yourself. And you know what? Sometimes that means completely switching off from everything that feels completely comfortable right now. And I know for me, it has definitely been oh my gosh, in some ways I can't, if you told me 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever, that this is where I'd be right now, it would have seemed almost impossible. And yet, here I am. And maybe in 5 years' time, I would even have uncovered even more. Become even more close to spirit. Become even more aware of who I am born to be. And I want the same for all of us. Why? Because our planet needs us all to wake up to who we are. Not even just for the money. I think everybody needs to be rich. Let there be no doubt. Basically, I think everybody should be rich. But I hate shoulds. I think everybody could be rich if they chose to be. I think everybody, yeah, it just makes your life so much easier. So why the heck would you choose less? But it's not about the money just. It's also about the self-expression. It's about being the leader that you know you're born to be. It's about living out the dreams, the visions, the calling on your life. Deliberately choosing it despite the craziness that is happening in your world right now. Deliberately choosing to create space for it. It's like I have a client right now in the DM club, and she's realizing that part of her resistance to building the business she was trying to build was because it's not the one she's supposed to be building. Okay? And that takes courage. That takes courage, and honey, you need support when you're trying to make that choice. Because the people in your life, they want you to do the normal stuff. Because they are not handling themselves. So you can't be listening to others who are not handling themselves, because that will eat up your courage. You need to be in the Deliberate Millionaire Club. Actually, that was the second thing I was going to mention at the beginning. Guys, you need to be in the Deliberate Millionaire Club if you are listening to me and you're resonating with what I'm saying to you here. There is a reason that you haven't yet created the life in the way that you want to. And instead of continuing to do what you're doing right now, you need to come and join us in the DM Fast Track Club. Okay? You need to come and join us in the DM Fast Track Club so that you can be, so more is demanded of you. And that you are accountable to your dream, to your vision. Yes, as I said, I can help you with all the crazy strategy stuff. That's absolutely fine. But actually, that's 10% of your issue. The other 90% is, well, there's fear, and there's the strategy side. Well, it's not the strategy side, sorry. It's the mindset side of things. It's the fears. It's the limiting beliefs of what you're capable of. It's you're surrounded by people who don't get why you can't be satisfied. Why are you not happy? That your life is supposed to be good enough right now, and yet you are not, because why? You haven't handled yourself yet. And it's time to, you can, even as you're listening to me right now, you can hear the whisper inside of you that says, change. It's time for change. It's time for change, because you know you're born. You know you're created for more. Born and created for more. You know it. But you're going to have to reinvent yourself, and I know that's scary. You feel kind of stuck being who you are. You have responsibilities. People have certain expectations of you. And so, here I am talking about living out the big vision, dream, whatever for your life, but it seems impractical. And honey, as I said, I'm one of the most practical people I know. And yet I've had to sometimes lay that down to trust that when I tap into that spirit, that intuition inside of me, it is because I'm able to actually make these things come to pass. It's not always pretty. Sometimes it's downright ugly, the journey that we have to go through. And yet it's worth it. It's worth it. Why would you not want to live happy? I know people say happiness is an inside job and all of this and all of the other, but it's pretty dang hard to be happy if you are in the wrong life. Ultimately, whichever way you look at it, I'm sorry, you can try and be mindful all you like, but if you're in the wrong place, doing the wrong stuff, on the wrong path, be real. Let's get to the root. Let's not just keep trying to fix the symptoms. Let's get to the root of it. You're not on the right path. And it's time to handle yourself. On that top note, let's see if I remember the tune again. Yes! I handle myself. I handle myself. I handle myself. Oh, I handle myself. I handle myself. I handle myself. For I am free. Oh, I am free. I love that, actually. I should remember that one. So this is it, guys. What is it? What is it? Because listen, let me just tell you that again. 2 years ago, this was crazy. It still is a little bit crazy, but it is also surrender. It's surrender. I'm done with fighting who I am. I almost cried that now. I'm done with fighting it because it just keeps recycling. It just keeps coming back. It's like, okay, yeah, no, it's not practical, Lord. It's not practical. How can I do that? And yet it's like, you need to. What is your non-practical thing? Because it's different for every single one of us, but there is something that you think is a bit stupid. It's a bit, people will think that you're crazy. And yet it keeps coming back. It keeps recycling. It keeps coming back. Just when you lay it down and you give yourself all the good reasons why you cannot do that, it comes back. For me, it comes back in the form of somebody saying, hey, you know that voice of yours, you're supposed to be using it. This is somebody that doesn't know me. And it's like, oh God, really? Seriously, universe? Basically. And it's like, just stop fighting, surrender. And anyway, when I look at the life that I desire, why would I want to be any less than myself when I get there? Why would you want to get the vision and not really get the vision? Why would you want to get to I know people just kind of settle for a half life. But you don't want that. You don't want that. You've seen it and you've promised yourself that this will not be your life. Now is the time to actually step up and handle yourself. Handle it. Stop hiding away from who you are born to be. If you are going to make a dent on this universe, you need to wake up and start handling your business, handling your mind, handling the fact that you are called to more and you can keep trying to hide from it, but it will keep coming back. It will keep recycling until you surrender. So just surrender. Just surrender. Let's start. Surrender and trust that if you have a vision for something, it's because you are the person to actually make it happen. Do not get to the end of your life and wonder why the heck you took so long to realize that you always had a choice. Don't just take that sideways route to the thing, so you move from one safe little bubble to another safe little bubble. Tell yourself, well, at least I've moved. No, you're still not handling yourself. You're trying to avoid handling yourself and telling yourself, well, I've changed a little bit, but you've just taken your trouble with you. Basically, you're just taking your trouble with you. It's like, I still remember trying to give birth to my third child. I was at home, upstairs, actually in a different house, we just moved, but upstairs giving birth, and I'm thinking the window was open and there's all this pain going on in my body, and I'm thinking, can I just run away right now? And then there was kind of spirit whispering in my ear, yeah, but the baby is still gonna come, man. Just because you run away doesn't mean the pain is not coming with you. And that's what people are doing with their lives sometimes. It's like, if I just move sideways over here, maybe the pain will stop, but it doesn't, because you've just carried the pain across. So you feel all excited and happy for about 3 seconds, and then you realize, oh, I'm still the same person. I haven't actually handled anything. And so I'm still, the same situations are recycling in my life because I still haven't surrendered and recognized that this isn't the life that I'm supposed to be living. It's time to handle your business, man. It's time to handle yourself, actually face yourself, and stop trying to tell yourself all the reasonable reasons why you shouldn't do the thing that you really know that you're called to do. Okay? It's time. It's time to act as a brave person. Because you are brave, really. Okay? Okay, I'm going to sing this last time, and I'm going to bring this to a close. I handle myself. I handle myself. I handle myself. Oh, I handle myself. I handle myself. I handle myself. 'Cause I am free. Oh, I am free. Oh, I am free. Yeah. Oh, I am free. Okay, guys, that has been the Church of RNK. The Church of RNK, can I ask again, command again, that you share it, you share it. That's number one thing. And number two thing is this: if you know you're ready to stop hiding from who you are and start handling yourself, then honey, the Deliberate Millionaire Club is where you need to be, okay? I've made it accessible to every single person because it is a place where you get to explore you without worrying about how much it's costing or any of that stuff. No, come and explore you, come and open up to you, come and get individual, individual support with your business, because yes, whichever way, knowing some strategy is quite helpful, okay? So come and get personalized strategy for you. It's in some ways, yeah, I work mostly with entrepreneurial leaders who are building a business, but even if you are not quite building a business yet, but you know that it is something that you are being called to do, or you know you have some art, some music, some books, some that kind of thing, creative expression that you need to start putting out in the world, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to promote it because it just seems impossible, you need to be in the club, okay? You need to be in the club, create the space, be around people who get the journey that you're on, okay? So that you can be yourself without having to perform any longer for anyone, okay? So go and join. Go and join. It's rosemarynonny.com/DM fast track. Go and take a look at what's on offer there. It's incredible stuff. But you know what? More than the stuff that is on offer, it's about the fact that, yeah, you get access to me, you get access to other leaders who are on the same journey, and we're all moving forward together, okay? And this is this is the place to be. Yeah? Okay. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you. You can say happy birthday to my 10-year-old daughter. I can show it to her in the morning when she's probably still awake upstairs somewhere. But feel free to put it in the comments and she can see that everybody loves her, really, like her mother does. Okay then. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure as always. It's time to fight for, and mostly with yourself, to fight for and to deliberately design the life you're born to live because you absolutely want to. Until the next time, share, and much love. Okay, bye.